Good morning, everybody. It's Jane from Surface Anthology and Chalk Mercantile. Happy Friday! Woohoo! We made it. We made it to Friday, and it's a beautiful one here. It's sunny and the wind is blowing. I hope you guys are having a nice morning where you are. It's 11:16 now on the East Coast. Look at me. I'm like, I have my own little news show. Before we finish, we're not actually going to finish because we're going to do some layers. The frames, remember from yesterday, this is after 2 coats of the cracked gesso by Amy Howard at Home, right? Beautiful. It looks really nice around my Plaster Page book, which I'm going to talk about really quickly, and then I'm going to get mixing some paint. So in the comments, I posted the link for the Plaster Page journal. This is a creative journal, an art journal. It could be a junk journal. Good morning, Julie. How are you today? Happy Friday. So I'm telling everybody about our workshop, my new workshop. And what it is, in the workshop, you're going to learn how to put together this journal, how to make it, how to put it together, and then how to decorate it. So whether you're a furniture painter or you're somebody who loves junk journaling, that's what it's about. I guess the difference is, and this is not original, there's nothing new under the sun, right? The pages are made with canvas. I used a drop cloth, and then I put plaster on either side of each page. And because furniture painting is kind of at the heart of what I do, for my businesses, that was my thought, that I was going to practice different furniture painting techniques. If you're a junk journal person, you can do that. You can do all kinds of fun stuff. And I hope you sign up. It is $17 until the 11th. That's Saturday, I believe, at midnight. So that's what I wanted to go over today because I had questions about the dates, and you know me. Hey, Lorena, good morning. Happy Friday. Woohoo. And it's Super Bowl weekend. I am not a football person. I'm just not a big sports person. My husband loves it. He's got a menu planned. We've discussed it, and we're making all these delicious, appetizers and chili, and he's just really excited. So I'm excited, as I said the other day, about the menu. It's going to be really good, and I love that he loves to watch this. So there you go. I don't even know who the teams are. Anyway, back to this. The early bird price of $17, and that is for a pre-recorded, it's over 32 lessons workshop. And my lessons are short, they're concise, so that way you can go back to it if you need to remember, how to bind it, how to do this, do that. So you can kind of, get through those really quickly. And then if you remember something you weren't sure how to do, it's easy to find it again. We're going to have a private Facebook group, and in there, I'm also going to do a live tutorial. So I am going to demonstrate or do a little tutorial on a paint finish on one of our plaster pages. Good morning, Brenda. How are you today? Happy Friday. Woo! Everybody's excited this morning, right? So the early bird price of $17 ends tomorrow, the 11th at midnight. Then it goes to $23, which is still a deal. We have a private Facebook group, and I'm going to do a live tutorial in there as a bonus, okay? The workshop drops. It becomes live on February 16th. So that's when everybody that's buying the workshop now, and thank you, everybody. I'm so excited. I'm really, really excited about this. You're going to get an email, and you'll be in the group by then, and you'll get a link to view the workshop. I am going to email out, because I've been getting a lot of questions about supplies. So I'm going to email out to everybody that's signed up so far and people that will be signing up a basic supply list, okay? I used a lot of stuff. And as the ladies will tell you from my Surface Anthology membership, and they got a detailed supply list, which you will get also when the workshop is live and you're in there and doing it. I used a lot of different things. You don't need to go out and get a lot of different things to do this workshop. So I'm going to send everybody the basic supply list so they can start gathering stuff up this weekend for the workshop so they can make their Plaster Page journal. Oh, and the live tutorial for everybody is on February 23rd, and that's going to be in our Facebook group. The link's in the comments, and if you're a member of the Surface Anthology membership, don't pay for the workshop. This is part of the membership, okay? So don't do that. Don't worry about that. You're getting it free, right? You're getting it as part of your membership. And if you join the membership now, and the link is also in there, the Surface Anthology membership, this will be your first workshop and you don't need to buy it, all right? All right, now we're gonna move on to our milk paint. So I'm gonna move my journal over here and bring back the frame. So this is 2 coats of the cracked gesso. And I did the second coat early this morning. It still feels a little cool, but I'm going to go forward. If you're using this, let it dry. Let it really, really dry, okay? To get products to do what we want them to do, it's good not to push them unless that's part of your design. You know, that's part of your technique, like we go in when it's still wet. Let it dry. Good morning, Deborah. Hey, Diana. Good morning. Deborah's saying, good morning, gang. Oh, Deborah, you're so sweet. She's saying the membership is worth it. Thank you so much. It is a fun place. Creative ladies. You get 20% off of everything in my shop. We have a full workshop every month like this, plus a live tutorial, plus a live Zoom Q&A, and a monthly raffle, which is really cool. Okay, now to mix the milk paint, I'm gonna do 2 layers, and I'm gonna make the colors different, right? Otherwise, what's the fun? So the first one, and I'm using, in this case, I'm using the Amy Howard at Home Toscana milk paint, and I wrote down my formula here. So Scandi Gray, where are you? All right, that's this color. I love this color. It's a really beautiful gray. And I'm going to mix in some Côte d'Azur. I mean, I know I'm killing that with my accent. So that's going to be our first combo. So all you do, got to have your water. And I really encourage everybody to try using milk paint. I know a lot of you are afraid. It's not scary. It's a lot of fun. All right, I'm eyeballing this, and hopefully I'm making enough for the 3 frames because we're going to do 1 today, but there are 3 to do. All right, and here's the Côte d'Azur. And I'm not putting too much in there. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, mix before you add water. This is really, really important. Right, you know what, Deborah? Everybody has the best attitude, right, in the membership. They do. It's just a really, really giving, generous group of really creative artists in there. I'm learning a lot in there, especially about stuff I don't use, like resin. Hey, Lourdes, how are you? Oh no, Lourdes, I got rid of the text thing. So, what you're on YouTube, right? Hit that little notification. So, I did a video on, and I emailed it to everybody. Maybe I'll do it again. If you're following me on Facebook, make sure you follow me, and then you click on the follow button and you can adjust your preferences to get notified when I go live. And then on YouTube, you make sure you subscribe and you hit that, like they say in all the videos you watch, hit that little bell and then you'll be notified when I go live. All right, so there it is mixed up. And now I'm just going to add some water. I'm not going to add a lot when I first start. Lourdes, are you excited about the new Iron Orchid? Because don't I see your stuff? Don't I see you creating a lot of stuff? I see everybody creating beautiful stuff. But I'm thinking that. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. Now, this went really dark. Don't panic, okay? With Amy Howard's, the Toscana milk paint, it goes back, to the color that you saw when it was dry, the dry powder. All right, so I just kind of knocking out those lumps like this. Just to get those kind of incorporated. All right, so there's the first one. And it's thinner than other paints. So that's the first thing you're gonna notice. All right, now let's do the other one. This one, I need Scandi Gray. And then I need my Côte d'Azur. Adding a little bit more of that this time. And then I'm gonna put in some white. Oh, Lourdes is saying, I have posted, yes, but right now budget is tight, so I'm going to have to use every ounce of willpower not to buy anything. And you know what? None of the new Iron Orchid release is, this thing is signaling me, can't do anything, is limited edition. So it's gonna always be there, Lourdes, so don't worry. And I hear you, I had to save to order it. I was like, I gotta make sure I have money put aside so I can get that line. All right. So there's this mixture, and I'm going to mix it up. Right? Always when it's dry is so much easier. Okay, add water. It's like mixing hot chocolate. Oops, and this one, look at how tight that got, right? Each color has different pigments and they react differently to water. A lot of us are used to the consistency of, our liquid paints and cans. Milk paint has a mind of its own for sure. All right, so there's that color I was going for, that lighter color. Okay, I'm gonna let that sit, bring this one back over. Now, the ideal time to wait is at least 20 minutes, at least. Really good is to mix your milk paint up the night before. All right, this looks good. And you'll notice when you do that, it gets thicker because all the pigments and minerals and all that good stuff is absorbing the milk paint. Okay, let's bring this back. Our frame. And I want to try two things. First thing I want to try is putting my first coat on with a sponge. And if you've been following me for any amount of time, I love using sea sponges. I use them for everything, for stenciling, everything. And these are just those little tiny ones, you know, you can get when you go to the makeup aisle. Just make sure it's a natural sea sponge. First thing you do is you have to wet it to activate it. Right? Squeeze that out. And then I'm mixing up my milk paint. And I'm going to dip this in and let's see how it goes. Yeah. And I'm just tapping this on. My thinking was I don't want to disturb the base too much with the brush. So I'm just tapping this in. And you gotta do the whole thing. And you didn't see me, but I had to get the back of this. This frame is pretty thick. So there's the back of it. You gotta get that. Hey Shannon, good morning. Oh, how sweet, Deborah saying. I decided one of my pages section in my journal has to be the wisdom of Jane Ann. Well, I am flattered. Nobody's ever really called me wise. Maybe a wise you know what. Thank you, Deborah. I am so flattered. I try. I have been teaching for oh my God, since high school I've been teaching. And I love it. I do love it. I didn't set out to teach, but here I am. Now I'm going to tell you, by the way, as I'm using this sponge like this, you use a lot more paint. Shanna, you didn't miss a lot at all. Well, you missed me mixing up the colors. It's a really pretty color, isn't it, Deborah? But I'm definitely going to have to mix up a lot more paint. So you know what I'm going to be doing this afternoon is rewatching this live to see how I mixed my paint. And this is why I always say, do as I say, not as I do. And, you know, write your formula down because you're going to be like, oh, I love that color. It's gorgeous. What did I use? And being a hairstylist, right? You got to write it down. You don't write it down and your customer wants that same color, the panic ensues. All right, so I'm dabbing this on in a really irregular way. And I can actually see some of the cracked gesso coming off on the sponge, and that is okay. All right, going around the back. So when it's hanging on the wall, you don't see a white back. I'll turn this. Wear your painter clothes. Wear your paint-worthy clothes because you're going to make a mess. And that's good. It's a lot of fun. Okay, good. Now, put that back in there. I'm really making a mess. Hey, Brenda. Woohoo. Danielle, where are you? Oh, there you are. Yay. I want to make sure I'm seeing everybody's comments. Okay. Now, the best thing about watching paint dry is watching the color get light. Brenda's saying all of the clothes are slowly but surely turning into paint-worthy clothes. Exactly. Oh, Brenda, it's like, even if you're painting, you're wearing your crafty clothes, you go to change, but then you go back to the area you were painting in. It's like the paint somehow jumps onto those clothes. Now, this takes a while to dry, and why is that? Oh, Shannon, thank you. Shannon says sprinkles with a little butterfly. Because when I put the milk paint down onto the cracked gesso, it wets the crack. You know, all of those things, products that we use are very absorbent. So it wets it again. You know, everything gets wet again. Plus, I don't use a heat gun, and I know you guys have heard me say it before, but it's like I end up burning everything with it. Danielle's saying, I'm lazy about writing down what steps, colors, ingredients that I use, and then you've regretted it. Absolutely. And you could sit there, and if you forget one little thing, Danielle, it'll change the whole thing. And yeah, it's the worst. It's the worst. Especially when you love it so much, right? Shannon saying, or painting something black and having black fingers out in public, and it looks like dirt. Oh, absolutely. Black fingers, or if you're using like brown wax, the waxes really look. Ugh. I have to use I use a nail brush. And then my hands, I just want, you know, they get so dry, right? All right. Well, I'm going to push this for you guys because that's what I do. So let's look at the light color now. So here's our light color. So this one foamed at the top. It foamed much more than the other color. And again, all the milk paint colors, even from the same brand, will act differently. They really, really do. I'm going to add a little bit more water to this. That's why we need the journal, right, Deborah? Absolutely. Write it all down. I use that planner printable thing I made, and I literally use it all the time. All right, there's that. Now this one I am going to, because I want to get it into all the nooks and crannies, I'm going to brush on. So we take this out and grab my little natural bristle brush. This is the little tiny one, which is perfect for something this size. Every time you dip your brush into milk paint, just give it a swirl. And then I'm just brushing this on, brushing and pouncing. And it's always so much fun. You know, you're doing this, it's like, I wonder how it's going to come out. I wonder if I'm going to like this, right? And these milk paint finishes, for those of you that are taking the Plaster Page workshop, you could test them out right on those pages. You can, if you need to make a molding, guess what? You do a raised stencil. That's all in the workshop. So then you could test it out, make sure you write it down, right? And then see if you like it. And you won't have that anxiety of ruining a piece of furniture. All right. Just like in beauty school, we used a mannequin head, and then the people that would come into the school and be our guinea pigs, right? Oh, Danielle, how, as a nurse, how did you, I just can't imagine being a nurse, and you've got to practice at some point on real people. How do you do that? All right. So I'm really moving here. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, let's make sure. And I just have to get it on the back. I'm just gonna quickly do this. Oh, I watched a reality show. Danielle saying she sweated bullets. Danielle, I watched a reality show on young doctors, nurses, people in the health field. Oh my God, I don't know what I would do. When I taught drawing, you guys, it was with nude models, right? Completely. And let me tell you, nudity is the great equalizer. It really is. And at first, you're just really like, oh my God. And then it's just like so normal. It's really great. I think everybody should take a semester of life drawing, and we would get over our obsessions, I think, with our bodies, All right, look at that. Now let's see what color it's going to turn when I dry it. Shannon says, I remember in nursing school giving shots to classmates. Shannon, you went to nursing school? Oh my God, I didn't know that. Giving shots to classmates. I can't even imagine. I'd be so nervous. Now that's the same color. No, Brenda, remember I made 2 colors. Now you're going to see my mess. If you go back, if you missed it, I mixed up 2 different colors, 2 different like formulas. I made sure Danielle's saying, I made sure I surrounded myself with experienced and intelligent nurses. Yeah. Night Watch. Brenda, I remember Night Watch. Wait a minute, wasn't that a show? Oh, you went, but you didn't finish. Maybe it was giving those shots. Oh. I don't know. All right, you see this light lightening up as I'm drying it? My camera's like, my camera's freaking out trying to focus. But look at how it's lightening up, right? Yeah, exactly, Deborah, right? Deborah's saying, and I think this is to Shannon, she can't believe you put plaster of Paris into the IOD molds. You've got courage. I'd be so scared it would ruin it, even knowing the silicone doesn't stick to anything. Shannon, that was amazing. Did you all see that? Danielle, don't you love this color? I know, it's beautiful. If you're in the membership, you'll see Shannon put plaster of Paris into the molds. And I was sitting there and like, wow, this is really cool. And I wonder how sturdy those are going to be. All right. Yes, see? It was a series, right, Brenda? Night Watch. Started in New Orleans. Shannon says about drawing, I was very shy. And that figure drawing class was a shocker on day 1. Yeah, but you get over it. And then all of a sudden, it's just like looking at somebody's face, I mean, there are people in the world who, they don't wear clothes. It's so hot where they are. They don't wear clothes. They're not like going like, ooh, right? Oh, it's a great color. I really love this color too. Shannon is fearless. Silicone is great for it. You're saying for the plaster of Paris. All right, everybody. So there's a new thing to throw in your IOD molds. All right, let's see. Not fearless. I watched on YouTube first. That's where we go to get our courage, right? YouTube. Glue those castings made of plaster onto something, and that will help to protect them. See, Danielle, I was thinking that too. Like if I wanted to put plaster of Paris castings on something, maybe the glue would help. Hey, Cheryl. Oh, thank God, a diversion from cleaning my living room. Cheryl, I don't even clean anymore. I walked by, we have animals, right? Pets. And I'm looking at these dust bunnies and I'm like, I have got to vacuum. When was the last time I vacuumed? This is a lifetime diversion for me. I'm bad. Nadine, hey, she's late to the party. Hi there. Nadine and Cheryl have joined us. Shannon, I have to tell you, Shannon is saying all my sketches had a blurred out look in certain areas. I know those areas. Those are the oak leaf areas. Listen, I had a student, and I taught at the School of Visual Arts life drawing class in this beautiful studio on 14th Street in their 23rd Street, and had these big windows, and the model would come in, and I would demand really respect of this model. We would get models that were going to school at NYU, Columbia. I would get ballet dancers, opera singers, all these kinds, and then just normal people, right? Retired people, all kinds of people. One time we had a group of models who were in a dance troupe together, and they were modeling together. It was amazing. But I had this one student, and she would not draw certain areas. And I said, listen, that's like, it was a man. I go, that's probably his favorite part of his body. Just draw it. It's like drawing his nose. Just draw it. It has he's just standing there, just draw him and stop thinking about it. And she finally did it. And it was fabulous. All right, now back to the non-sexy stuff, right? The plaster. Deborah's saying, Shannon, yeah, they were gorgeous. They really were gorgeous, and they were perfect. Those we're talking about the plaster of Paris casts of the iron orchid molds. And Brenda says, I use the flexible dry decks in the shallow molds. Danielle's saying, yeah, back to cleaning. It's because cleaning is endless. It is. It just never ends. And normally I love vacuuming. There's something about it. I just love to vacuum, right? But man, I haven't done it in ages. A new page, the wisdom of Shannon. Deborah, that is the truth. Because Shannon, you're somebody who's I think you think about things. You're a creative problem solver. And you like to put things together and see what happens. And I love that. Sometimes that scares me. I'm like I'm going to ruin my molds, right? That's me. Cheryl, Danielle, Preston, Farrell. Amen, sister. Plus cats. Lots and lots of cats. Danielle, it's true. Who has sons? Come on. Oh, my goodness. It's the truth. But this young woman was so nervous about it and wouldn't draw. And to be able, especially in art school, art college, right? You have to know how to draw the figure. You have to. I was terrible. I was like, Shannon is saying about the plaster of Paris molds, it will break very easily if you bend the mold while the plaster of Paris is in it. So you flipped it over slowly and let it gently fall out. I've added the plaster cloth to the backs for added support. Oh, how cool is that? Detailed items will break. Going to try with the glue added. Yeah, I wonder if we could put something, seal the plaster somehow. Cheryl, it's satisfying to see a new rug color. Oh my God. Once the fur is removed. I want a page with Cheryl's comments, right? You're like David Sedaris. Like if you read it too fast, you're gonna miss it. Cheryl, that is the best. Right, Shannon? I get that. Absolutely. Danielle, I have a husband and sons, and I'm sure it's their favorite part. Exactly. Oh, and yeah, it's Cheryl saying it's funny how we've sexualized everything, right? I know, and we have. It's too much. When you're standing there, just drawing nude people, that's not a part of it at all. It's just all about the model, how they're settling into a pose. I would talk about that. All of that good stuff. It was so great. Isn't he? David Sedaris, Cheryl. Everybody, if you haven't read anything by David, read it. He's very funny. And I saw him live. My husband got that one year for me. And I almost I was in the front row. I thought they were going to kick me out because I couldn't stop laughing. Brenda, when the dust bunnies start chasing me, it's time to vacuum. Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. Oh no, Shannon. I'm not going to repeat that. A hoot and a half. Yes, absolutely. Oh my God. I'm telling you, Shannon. Now, all right, let's get back to painting. So we've got this really beautiful color. I love this color. And again, this is why the plaster book is really good, because you can mix something out, right? And it's really easy to make colors with milk paint and then test it. But yeah, this is a really beautiful color. You can make your own special, your own bespoke colors that only you know how to make, that are totally unique to you. It's so great. Yeah, Cheryl is hilarious, right, Shannon? You all are, frankly. The Cheryl comedy page. Oh, I love that kind of witty, really witty. I love all kinds. I'm also like a 14-year-old boy, to be honest. Bathroom humor is, I think, maybe being the mother of 3 boys, even though they're grown. Oh my God. All right. Now, the first thing I want to tell you, I'm going to do some wet distressing. You can grab your Amy Howard at Home antiquing glaze if you want, but there's already, so you could see that darker color underneath. It's already there. So you can actually see some of that layering happening. Custom Connecticut color, right? Shannon, you handled us gracefully. I try. Oh no, Deborah's talking about Amsterdam. When I was in Amsterdam while taking the tour of the waterways, we had to stop to allow a boat of nudists to get in front of us. Being from the South, I was a little surprised. What's going on in Amsterdam? They have nudist boating. Wow. Oh my goodness. All I had to see is when I was in Amsterdam. I've never been to Amsterdam. All right. Dip your sea sponge into some water. And I'm going to start. I'm not going to do all of it because I really want this to dry. When you're doing these layers, this is still cool when I touch it. So you know it's still wet. But let's distress an area and see. Do a little wet distressing. So I'm just, quickie side note here. You can take your fingers, put it in the water, and kind of go like this to start to activate some areas more than others. My nose is running from laughing. There's all different ways to wet distress. All right, so I'm going in here. And I'm just turning the sponge. And you see the paint, right, start to come off. And you really should, you'll see me dip my sponge, rinse, because otherwise you're going to start putting the paint you're collecting in your sea sponge back onto your piece. You don't want that. We want to lift it off. Just like this. And I know what you're all thinking. Could you add gold leaf to this? Yes, I could have gold leafed this between the layers and been distressing down to gold leaf. Now, this is what the wet distressing looks like. Wet, right? You see those colors. Ugh. Where are you, camera? Right? Pretty. Now let's dry it and see what it looks like. Deborah says, everything is allowed in Amsterdam. Oh, I just love that. I want to go to Ireland again. I want to go to England to see where my father's family is from. I want to do all of that. And I want to go to Amsterdam. My husband's been there and he loved it. He just said, and he said it was beautiful. So not a lot happened, right? Not a lot happened with my wet distressing. So, which means I've got to do more. So I'm going to do a little bit more. And remember, the frames are painted. They have like a gold paint. So that's going to come out. Now this is why I love milk paint, because you can create these kinds of finishes really, really easily. And of course we could gild after, there's no reason, and I might end up doing that. All right, and I'm gonna do one more. Okay, let's try drying it and see. Oh, Cheryl, I know, wouldn't that be fun? You have a lot of Amy Howard products. Cheryl says, can I bring all my Amy Howard products to your studio and we could have an in-person workshop? I really actually want to do that, Cheryl. And it would have to be like a weekend, you know, creative retreat, so that people that are coming from far away can do that. Absolutely. That would be so much fun. Yep, between the layers, absolutely. You can put your gilding between the layers. Furthermore, the people who live in Amsterdam are happy. Excellent, Cheryl. Oh, silver leaf would be beautiful. If you want to keep a really cool, a cool look, silver would be gorgeous. Tammy, are you still in? Tammy of Flippin' Furniture, everybody. Are you still in the Outer Banks in, what is that, North or South Carolina? I saw your video of your live of where you are. It's gorgeous. Oh my God. I added the gesso. Did it make a difference? Well, let's see. It absolutely, actually, I already know it made a difference. Sign me up. All right, Cheryl. When I get to that, I'm already talking to some folks in Deep River where I am and trying to figure out, well, where would this be? You know, where could I hold the workshop? And my friend Kim of For the Nest, who's doing a retreat, is doing it in a church basement. That's really, really nice. Her shop's across the street. All right, beautiful. Beautiful. And I still have to do more distressing, and I'm going to actually wait for this to dry. But look at the beautiful, you see the light, you see the dark. Of course, if I had better lighting, right? I need my tech crew. It's beautiful. You see that darker color and then the light I put on top, right? And then next week, what we're going to do next week, I am going to have these all painted. I'm going to wet distress them like I did here. So they're all to this point, right? We're going to do some finishing, antiquing with wax, that kind of thing. I might throw in some leafing, but I actually really love this look. It's just beautiful. And you see now, I hope, that it has begun. You see the cracking, right? That's from the cracked gesso, Shannon, which is gesso with no glue. So you're not going to get that if you add glue to your gesso, and you cannot get this with acrylic gesso. So no, no, no. You're on the way home now, Tammy. Safe travels. Man, did that go by fast. Holy cow. And everybody, Tammy is going to be tomorrow. Tammy, are you doing the mystery box? I'm pretty sure, everybody, that Tammy of Flippin' Furniture and Joni of Weathered Wings is doing the mystery box challenge. So let me know. Oh my God, Brenda says, I'd arrive in a rented U-Haul to go to the fabulous places. Well, if we do that, we are gonna, that's another thing I want to include is I told my husband, and I know Tammy, you've done this, but I'm like, well, we could rent a nice van, right? That can hold a lot of people and go on my little antique trail from like Deep River down to Madison, which is, those are, you know, there's all these shops along the coastline, right? Cheryl, tune in next week for Jane's As the Frames Progress. Oh, As the Frames Progress. I love that. As the frames turn. Oh, remember that on Carol Burnett, As the Stomach Turns? Oh my God. Danielle, I like what's peeking through underneath. That's it. And remember, of course, I should have left one totally unpainted, but because I want to use these, I didn't. And what did I say? When you work on more than one thing and you want the same finish, you've got to do it at the same time. But yeah, I've got that gold coming through. There's actually some wood, and it's really starting to crackle now as it dries because it's not totally dry yet. That's going to be a fun Saturday lineup. Yeah, that's tomorrow. Oh, Danielle. Danielle's saying, oh Lord, those mystery boxes stressed me out. I know. I was like, what would I do? What would I do? And I literally start to go through and I'm like, I'm not doing it, right? I don't have to worry about it. But then I know that everybody else that's doing it is thinking about it. What am I going to do with this, right? Oh, absolutely. But they did everyone, I think there have been 2 so far. I love what everybody made. I thought it was really, really nice. And it's a way, you know, to stretch your imagination and to get ideas. Oh, I never thought about using something like that. Absolutely. All right, you guys. Wait, it could be deductible. I love that. I love how you guys think. Well, as usual, we covered everything, right? The important thing is that you have a wonderful Friday today. I hope you get some creative time this weekend. If you guys are watching this and you want to get in on the Plaster Page journal, right? Let me haul that over. Our fun workshop. And it really is. I'm really, really having a ball with this. The link is in the comments. You've got until tomorrow at midnight to get in on the early bird price. Did you catch me doing the seal? I love this little seal. Now I want to do more, but not burn myself. And it will go up to 23, which is still a good deal for a workshop that's over 30 lessons. We're going to have a private Facebook group, and I'm going to do a live tutorial in there on one of the blank pages. So definitely tune in for that. And if you're in the workshop and you can't make it, you're going to be able to watch that replay. So no worries about that. And if you want to join the membership, right? And this is just this milk paint tutorial I'm doing today. It's just a little of what we do in there. The link is in there also, the Surface Anthology membership. It's $27 a month. You get a big workshop, you get a live tutorial, you get a Zoom Q&A, you get discounts, you get a raffle, and you get to hang out with me and these ladies, right? And we do have a ball for sure. Yes, Deborah, everybody have a safe and wonderful weekend. Nadine's like, I've got to go to Italy to get that. I think I found there's a line. Now I don't have my seal. I put it away. I think somebody sells those here, an importer. And yeah, it's a beautiful seal for sure. You're thinking the same thing. Do you suggest creating the entire cover first before attaching, or either way? You know what? I kind of was doing both ways, and I could still work on this cover. This is all put together, Shannon. If this was completely naked, I could work on the cover with absolutely no problem. So, and putting together the book, this is pretty sturdy. It won't be a problem at all. So whatever you want to do, for sure. Oh, thank you, Julie, saying have a blessed weekend. Let's go. I'm up for vacation. Right, we can all go to Italy. Well, that's the next thing I want to do. Tammy's going to laugh. I would love to do one of those creative retreats where they go and they get like they're in an Italian villa, or they go into a Scottish castle. And I see people doing it. I'm like, oh, I want to do that. So it's on my vision board. All right, everybody, take care. Have a great, great weekend. Happy painting. Any questions about the workshop, the